If you are a woman over 40 and you are currently in the position where you are trying to catch up and save up for retirement, you need to hear this information. I found out recently that you can actually have a 401k and a SEP IRA at the same time. See, most people think that you need to choose one. However, if you have a 9 to 5 and you have any side income, you would be surprised with how much money you can actually put away into retirement. Let me go ahead and break it down for you. So let's go ahead and start with what most people know, the 401k. And then I'll go ahead and show you what most people are missing. So chances are, if you work a 9 to 5, your employer offers you a 401k. This is the most common retirement account in America. So right now, if you are under the age of 50, the IRS lets you contribute a maximum of $24,500 per year in your 401k. Now, if you are over the age of 50, the IRS actually gives you a catch-up contribution of $8,000, which then brings your total to $32,500. Now, here's the thing that some may not know. There is something called a super catch-up contribution, and this is for those who are between the ages of 60 and 63. Now, that catch-up contribution is a total of $11,250 rather than the $8,000. So that now brings your total up to $35,750. Now, here's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. The super catch-up contribution is only available if your employer has adopted that policy. So you want to make sure that you double check with your HR department before you actually start to count that number. Now, here's another thing that I want you to understand. Most of you, if you are over the age of 40 and you are currently in the position where you are trying to catch up, that $32,500 may not seem like a lot of money, because in reality, it's not. And if that is you and you're currently like, okay, this is great to pay, but that's not going to be enough, then this next account is what's going to be important for you to know. So like I mentioned, the 401k is not the only retirement account that's actually available to you. There is something called a SEP IRA. Now that stands for Simplified Employee Pension. I have a SEP IRA. This was introduced to me by my accountant years ago, literally over a decade ago. So I've had one on and off. Now, the great thing about a SEP IRA is you can contribute up to 25% of your business compensation. Now, that equals usually around 20% of your net self-employment income, with a maximum contribution of $72,000 per year. Did you hear what I just said? $72,000 per year maximum, not $24,500 like a 401k. So you can already see the difference. So let me go ahead and break down what qualifies for having self-employment income, because some people may be confused about what this actually means. So self-employment income is any income that you are making on the side outside of your 9 to 5. So I want you to think about freelancing. I want you to think about digital product sales. I want you to think about making money through content creations. I want you to think about, partnering with brands and making money through that. Anything that you are doing, consulting, coaching, that is self-employment income. And you most likely can also check with how you file your taxes. If you file a Schedule SE in your taxes, then more than likely that is considered self-employment income. Now, here's the thing. You do not have to have employees to set up a SEP IRA. You also don't need to have an LLC. All you need to do is have self-employment income. The great thing about a SEP IRA is that the money goes in pre-tax. And so what that does is it lowers your taxable income for that year. So not only are you saving for retirement, you're also saving when it comes to how much you're paying taxes. Now, of course, when you withdraw the money, that's when you are taxed, but it's still great for you to be saving right now. Now, a lot of people don't hear about a SEP IRA is because your employer talks about about a 401k, and then your banks, they talk about savings, your high yield savings account. So when you're self-employed, it's really about you figuring it out on your own. Luckily for me, my accountant brought it up to me when I started to file taxes as an entrepreneur. But this is something that most people don't talk about. And look at the maximum contribution limit, $72,000. And this is why it makes it one of the most powerful tools available when it comes to retirement. So here's the question. If someone has a 401k with their job and self-employment income on the side, can they have both? And the answer is yes. You can be a W-2 employee and have a 401k, and you can have a SEP IRA for your self-employment income. You can have both because they are two completely separate accounts with two completely separate contribution limits. So let's look at something really cool. Let's say that you are over the age of 50 in theory, okay, and you have a 401k. You can max that out at $32,500 every single year. Now, let's also say that you have a very profitable and successful side business. That means you have a maximum contribution of $72,000 per year. Now, if you combine both of those together, you're looking at $104,500 in retirement every single year between those two accounts. Most people, let's be honest, are not going to max out both accounts. But I just want you to kind of see that the ceiling is so much higher than most people actually realize. And the crazy thing about this is I'm not even counting your Roth IRA. So if you are under the age of 50, you get a total annual contribution of $7,500. And if you are over the age of 50, you get the catch-up contribution of $1,100, which brings up your total contribution to $8,600. And if you add that on top of your 401k and your SEP IRA, now you're looking at $113,100 total contribution for the year. The beautiful thing about doing the math is that not only do I get to see that, whoa, these numbers are way different than I actually thought. Most people think that they're capped at the $24,500. But once you really start to see what's available to you, you are then able to see how that can benefit you, especially if you are in a season where you are trying to catch up. So let me put this in perspective with some real numbers, because you know I like to come up with these scenarios because it really gets me thinking and it really allows me to see what's possible. And I want you to be able to see what's possible for you as well. So let's say that you are starting at the age of 45 like me, and you are putting in $1,000 per month to a SEP IRA. So we're not talking about a 401k right now. Over the next 20 years, with an average annual return of 8%, that SEP IRA can grow to about $589,020. Over $500,000 in just your SEP IRA. This is not counting your 401k. This is not counting your Roth IRA. This is not even counting Social Security. Imagine when you combine all of those buckets. So I want you to think about, if you are getting your employer match on top of that, that's even more money, right? If you are contributing to a Roth IRA, that's even more money. If you know what you're going to be receiving in Social Security, that's even more money. See, that's a beautiful thing. Now you have 3 accounts all compounding for you over the next 20 plus years. Here's the thing that I want you to understand is people who win in the catch-up game is when they build a system. They're not just hoping for the best and they're putting in just a little bit of money and praying that it does well. They're actually building a plan and they're utilizing all the resources that they have available to them. They're utilizing the catch-up contribution limits. They are utilizing all 3 accounts if they can. And even if you don't have a side business and you do not open up a SEP IRA, you still have your 401k, you still can open up a Roth IRA, and you can still open up a brokerage account and do the same thing, because a brokerage account has no contribution limits. So if you are utilizing all of these resources, that's how you're able to catch up. And that's how you are able to win the game when it comes to retiring while you're starting late. Overall, most people think that they are literally maxed at the $24,500 with the 401k contribution. And that is not even the clearest picture. That is not the truth. If you really sit down and you think about how you can increase your retirement income by opening up a Roth IRA, or if you have any self-employment income, you really put yourself in a really good position to play catch up and actually really reach your goals in the next 20 years. If you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you. My name is Dipe Alaru, and this was your Daily Dose with Dipe. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank the young lady that actually asked me the question last week, because it got me thinking, wait a minute, I've never thought about that. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 21, so I've never had to think about a 401k and a SEP IRA. But when she asked that question, I was really like, wait a minute, you can have both? Because if someone can have both, whoa, that's insane. So yes, I think that that is a great question. So thank you so much, because it really gave me the idea to create this video. That way I can help anybody who is working a 9-to-5, making sure that they get their employer contribution match, but also to make sure that they open up a SEP IRA so that way they can get that 20% of your net self-employment income, because you have a maximum of $72,000 a year, which is really, really, really great, especially if you want to catch up. So if you're new, welcome. Feel free to subscribe and come back for more if you are in the stage of your life where you are starting over after 40 and you are looking to build wealth from this point on in your life. Until next time, have a beautiful and blessed day.